Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have a thing, and Doku wants to make noises about it. I've not watched it, but I've not heard anything good about this whatsoever. So, Doku, why don't you try to dread to think you're going to succeed in this? But why don't you sell this to me?
Um, now I feel awkward trying to say the obligatory 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
That becomes your problem, not mine.
Ew.
Is it actually that bad?
So do you want to start with the good, the bad, or the ugly?
Let's do this in a odd order. Reverse it. Ugly, bad, good. Because, like I said, I've heard good things by B. You're going to tell me that she's wrong.
Probably not for the reasons that you think.
Okie dokie.
So, all right, so let's start with the ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Comparing the Netflix adaptation, as I'm sure many people would imagine, it doesn't hold a candle to the anime. It doesn't. And that's for many different reasons. The first and foremost, there are just certain aspects of the anime that don't translate to live action. I mean, they just don't. So
Yeah.
you're already starting with an uphill battle.
Yeah. I hope you can see your screen because I will be putting up what people are saying.
Okay, so network show, from what I've heard, is them killing the anime and raping the corpse. See, this is the thing. They already said it's not going to follow the anime beat for beat, which it doesn't. It doesn't follow it beat for beat. It definitely borrows a lot from the animes, and there are certain instances where it is a direct translation anime to live adaptation. And again, if you're going down that road, there's a reason that anime is a thing. And certain things just they don't translate well to live adaptations. They just don't. It That being said, they do their best, at least in some areas, and I'm not going to knock them too much because there are some aspects where, yeah, it actually it translates fairly well. I'm surprised they managed to pull off what they did. But we're talking about the ugly, so I'll save all of that for later. The ugly part of this show is it doesn't follow it beat for beat, and it doesn't do the story as a whole justice. It Yeah, I know it's its own thing. It's not supposed to be a direct adaptation, yada yada yada. Yeah, I get it. We all know that. But this doesn't, at its core, does not feel like Cowboy Bebop. It's there's too much comedy. There's too much aloofness. There's jokes where there shouldn't be jokes. There are parts in certain scenes where you are just sitting back and going, "That seems awfully convenient." It doesn't have the same type of gravity, the same type of severity, the same sort of, I don't know. There's certain scenes where you feel like this should feel like a really tense scene. Like if you mess up even just a little bit, you're dead. It doesn't get that across well. It seems like more of a sitcom. And if for a space sci-fi sitcom, it plays itself well. Yeah, it's funny. But that's not what Cowboy Bebop is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a space sitcom. Yeah, but that's kind of what the majority of the show, at least from the bits that, or from what I've seen, it's not Cowboy Bebop. I mean, I'm not gonna say the show is bad. If you took the title away, if if you took the characters Faye, Spike, Jet, if this was just its own original thing that had
Doku,
absolutely nothing to do with Cowboy Bebop, it'd be fine.
Doku, we've gone past the 5 minutes. You can say what you like.
Oh, thank fucking God. So yeah, so no, this show, if it had nothing to do with Cowboy Bebop, if it was like fuck Cowboy Bebop, fuck Faye, fuck Jet, fuck Spike, I don't give a damn what that show was about. I'm just gonna do my own thing. It it'd be fine. I wouldn't have anything to say about it. It would be your typical Netflix show. Hey, it's kind of funny. It's kind of quirky. It has a uh, not an original setting, but a unique enough setting that I can kind of pay attention to it. That'd be fine. The fact that they tried to put Cowboy Bebop and take these characters and say like this is Faye and this is, to be honest, Jet actually wasn't that bad. The actor they had playing Jet is actually probably one of the best parts of the show because he does play the character pretty damn well. I mean, credit where credit is due. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, Jet's not supposed to be black. His last name is Jet Black." The guy still nails the character. So credit where credit is due. Faye, we'll talk about Faye in a little bit. Spike is the most disappointing. Well, Spike is the second most disappointing part of the show. Vicious and Julia, that is. Let's just say they took creative liberties and it doesn't play out very well. It really ruins the whole plot line. I don't know why they chose to do what they did with that particular aspect of the plot arc. It
Mm-hmm.
again, I know it's not supposed to be a beat for beat, but you guys really you kind of screwed this one up. I'm not saying the show is bad, but it's not Cowboy Bebop. Let's just
Hold up. Now, I'm not going to disagree with you by any stretch of imagination. Like I said, I haven't seen it nor the anime, but I have heard that people are actually saying it was deliberately made badly.
yeah.
I have you heard this? I'm assuming.
I saw that article. I believe that was from it wasn't Kotaku. It was another outlet where they say like Cowboy Bebop wasn't supposed to be good. So
Yeah.
if it was supposed to be bad, then mission accomplished, I guess. Like my number one complaint is it feels really cheap. Like that's the thing that annoys me the most about it. It feels cheap.
Fair.
You yeah, you can say like yeah, it's not supposed to be, you know, a direct translation of what the anime was and we're just going to rehash the anime but do it in live action form. We want to do something different. So it all right, fine. That I don't think that's a good idea, but fair enough. Fine. But did you have to make it so damn cheesy? Cuz that's the one thing this show really does suffer from. When you do have some of those more intense moments or the moments where they have like some emotional weight, some gravity behind them, it's
Mm-hmm.
completely overshadowed by the fact that the show feels like a fucking sitcom in space. Like it
Oh,
yeah, it has some moments that just don't fit. It it's awkward. It's like this is not Cowboy Bebop. It's I'm getting like a weird vibe of Friends and Big Bang Theory,
oh
and
God.
it's it's like, hey, fellow anime fans that love this beloved franchise, look at what we did. Haha, it's funny. You like this, right? Here's Spike, and here's Faye, and here's Jet, and nah, that I get what you're trying to do, and no, just No, it, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Okay.
Now again, if you take all the Cowboy Bebop aspects out of this show and made it something totally different, it honestly wouldn't be that bad. The fact of the matter is they tried to make it Cowboy Bebop is why the show ultimately fails because it's not it, it doesn't have the same sense of how should I put this in the appropriate way. While Cowboy Bebop the anime does have its funny moments and it's kind of quirky,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a feel good show. It's actually rather nihilistic. It
Oh.
it kind of it's heavy even when it's funny because yeah, it's supposed to make you laugh because if you don't laugh, the underlying theme is something that's really dark and it's not supposed to be a feel good show. It, versus this just feels kind of like oh haha quirky so random and it doesn't fit. It just doesn't work. And
Okay.
I know a few people have brought this up. So that's the ugly part of the show. The ugly part is the fact that they even tried to make Cowboy Bebop
Yeah.
in the sense that they did. It's not. It just isn't. Anybody that says, "Oh yeah, this is no," it's not. This is not Cowboy Bebop. It's something, but that is not what it is. So that's the ugly.
Sean has said the humour is dark humour, not lol humour. Your thoughts?
And no, he's 100% correct.
Okay.
Every humorous aspect in the original anime, yeah, it's funny until you start thinking about what the implications of the joke actually is, and well, it's not really that funny. It is very dark humor.
Okay. So would you define that as the ugly?
That's the ugly.
You know that it goes to the bad now, don't you?
Oh, yes. So let's talk about the bad.
Hmm.
And the bad really only has three things that we really need to talk about. Point number one being Spike is a fucking buffoon. Hey, I'm calling it right now. In the anime, Spike might come across as no fucks given, which, yeah, Spike is no fucks given. The guy is basically waiting to die. He has nothing to live for. Well, he has something to live for, but that's spoilers for the anime. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. But Spike in this iteration, the Netflix adaptation,
Hmm.
he just comes across as an idiot. It I don't it doesn't have anything to do with the actor. It
Okay.
has everything to do with the writing. It's not Spike. It Spike's just sort of along for the ride. He's just kind of doing his own thing. He doesn't think about any of the shit he's doing. And a lot of the stuff that they throw into the Netflix show, it wouldn't even make sense in the anime because yeah, if you tried to pull that off, your ass is getting shot. like like that dude has a gun pointed at you. Like Spike from the anime would be, oh, I forgot to tie my shoe. Boom, kick, gun. Oh, my gun now. Not the shit that they do. It's very aloof. It's very over the top. It doesn't work. I'm just gonna say it now. It doesn't work.
Okay.
Now, Jet's character, Jet is fine. I have no issues with Jet. Even with the race swap, I know that irritates a lot of people, but at least the actor managed to nail the character for the most part.
I, I have a question for you, if you don't mind. Given what, given how much you absolutely adore woke media, would you say that this was a woke show or actually worth watching show in that manner?
Actually, there are a few things that were distinctively woke, and when I say distinctively, it would be very difficult to miss.
Okay.
But for the most part, no, it wasn't really too heavy-handed with the politics, and the woke stuff pretty much follows. Well, it's mostly all revolves around Faye, really.
Hmm. What I mean by that is, best way I can put it is, who's the Mary Sue?
Mm, kind of the whole. Actually, I'd say kind of the whole cast is a bit of a Mary Sue just because of the way they portray them. Like again,
Okay.
if you watch the first three episodes, all three of the main characters that they introduce, and yes, they introduce Faye in like I believe it's the first episode.
Hmm.
They all do something dumb enough that they all should have gotten their ass shot and put in the hospital within the first like two or three episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it that again, it's supposed to be like haha funny. It's like no, that will get you shot. Like in the anime, no, you don't get to do haha funny. It but this show tries to do the haha funny thing. It
Hmm.
doesn't it doesn't work. It just like I'm just gonna be blunt about it. It does not work. It does not fucking work.
Okay.
But yeah, the only woke stuff you really get revolves around Faye, and you wouldn't realize it if you haven't watched the anime,
Yeah.
but I guess Faye is a lesbian because reasons. It I don't know
Okay.
why, but
I
whatever.
take it the character isn't normally.
Well, Faye is supposed to be a femme fatale that uses her sexuality to get her way. It
Ah.
it smokes, drinks, gambles. It but femme
Okay.
fatale with it's not that she doesn't have compassion. It's just she also doesn't trust people at the same time. She wants to, but she's not trusting, but she wants to trust people. Like Faye's a complicated character. This
Hmm.
version of Faye is I'm not gonna say it's bad, but
Hmm.
it's also not Faye. It feels like a different character. I don't want to call her Faye. I'm not saying the character is bad. It's kind of generic. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not Faye. It it has some it has some aspects of the anime character, but for the most part, it's its own thing. So I guess it's okay. It I don't know. I didn't really care for Faye that much as far as the way they do this character. The original character from the anime is a lot better. It's a lot more complicated. There's at least one good scene because Faye has like amnesia. It's spoiler warnings. Faye Faye has amnesia and she doesn't know her past and everything, so she's kind of like floundering around. So there's at least one good part where she like sees a VHS tape or some shit and it's like, "Oh yeah, this is you as a kid." Okay, well, at least you got some of the emotional payoff there and everything else about the character is meh. It it's not enough for me to hate it, but I don't really care about Faye either.
Okay, right. Jim has a comment. Didn't see how giant robots and mass amnesia were related. Maybe it's because of Cartoon Network and likely all out of order, if not edited in different order. Opinion.
It, mm, I, I could say a few things. The structure is weird. It so yeah, they make some. We'll just say they take some creative liberties, and
Mhm.
I guess if you're going for again the sci-fi sitcom angle, I guess it makes sense. And okay, um, wouldn't be my choice, but
Okay.
all right. It, see, see, at least High Guardian Spice. was bad enough that I could legitimately say it's boring and I just don't give a damn.
Yeah.
There are moments where no, it's actually not bad. Like there are good moments in this show. There are moments I legitimately care about what's going on. Specifically, there's one moment with Faye,
Hmm.
and there are two or three moments with Jet, and at least one moment with Spike. That it's like, okay, I I actually I actually am going to pay attention. I actually care about what's going on. These moments are good.
Okay.
Add them all together, and that's 7 moments of me actually giving a fuck.
Oh.
Everything else is either very stupid
Yeah.
or uh, boring. It there are some really just awkward moments. And I know people have talked about the Ed scene. I don't want to talk about the Ed scene because it's basically it's only for like what, like 20-25 seconds at the end. And yeah, it's just that part is just not good. But nothing against the actor, actress. It, nothing against them, but if I was the director, maybe you should have reshot that scene because it's a little too heavy-handed with the LOL so random.
Oh God.
I know Ed's character is supposed to be very aloof and random and off the wall, but you guys kind of took it a little too literally. And by
Hmm.
literally, I mean it's well, go check Twitter. You'll know what I'm talking about. It's
Oh.
yeah, it ain't good. It's not good. But so since we're talking about the bad,
Hmm.
let's get the elephant out of the way.
I'm not that big. Leave me alone.
Let's talk about Julia and Vicious. The last episode with Julia. Uh Way to ruin the fucking story. They congratulations. I don't know where you guys are going with this. I can maybe understand it's not the direct adaptation of Cowboy Bebop. We want to keep a big bad around. We want to have Julia, the Syndicate, and Spike still alive, and this and that. Yeah, very presumptuous of you to think that you're going to get a season two.
Oh, no, you say that. It might be like Doctor Who and STD that they've already decided that there will be a next season, no matter how bad it is. I mean,
Oh no,
there
they.
is
I'm not joking, dude. I'm not shitting you. They literally
no.
set it up for a season two because we have Spike, who's not
Hmm.
dead. We have
Hmm.
Ed, who gets introduced and essentially an after credit sequence, and then Julia, who is, I guess, now trying to become leader of the syndicate. So they very much
Okay.
set it up for season two, to which I say, so Spike isn't dead. Vicious is dead. Radical Edward is only there for the last like 30 seconds. And
Hmm.
Julia is now the big bad? Again, very presumptuous of you to think that you're going to get a season two off of this because it ain't that good.
Yeah, I hope you're looking at your screen because I'm not reading this out loud. But comment from SSM, Straight Stiff Mail. Don't read it out loud. You can answer him without saying it out loud.
Yeah, and see, this is kind of where when I was trying to talk about so I was going to talk about the good, but I'm going to stick to the bad for now, and then we'll move to the good.
Hmm.
That very much does touch on the bad because, yeah, I know they race swap Jet Black, but the actor was the only one that at least got the feel of the character correct, because Cho Cho doesn't do a good job playing Spike. Again, Spike comes across as an idiot. Faye comes across as uh just kind of a snarky bitch. Like,
Mm.
if it was a unique character, like an original character that wasn't fucking Faye, then I wouldn't really have an issue with it. But let's be blunt, dude, that's not Faye. Like, Faye wouldn't act the way that this Faye acts. Faye was always supposed to be, you know, yeah, a little bit snarky, yeah, a little bit full of herself,
Hey,
but
Batman.
All right, what gay shite are you two puffs on about?
We're
na-
fagging it up about Bebopalula, also known as
Oh.
Cowboy Bebop.
All right. That's something I'm not interested in, really. But
Okay.
listen.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. As I say, I just thought I sent it to you as you asked. So,
Yeah, I appreciate it.
okay.
Any of you read The Wheel of Time?
No,
I've read the book. I don't want to watch the show.
Like it starts off where they're saying that the Dragon Reborn can either be a man or a woman,
of course.
and it wouldn't have put it past me if they altered it so that it's the character I hate most in the books. That's the Dragon Reborn,
Yeah,
Nynaeve.
yeah, but the the Dragon Reborn is always a male.
It's supposed to
It
Just for you, Batman.
whip who?
The cat.
Ah,
Yes.
nice, cool.
Yes. Well, no, I haven't seen it, and that's another show that B suggests I watch at some point. But
Can't decide whether I like it or I don't like it because I hated Nynaeve in the book. I despise her in the TV show.
okay,
I hated Egwene in the book. I've got a mild dislike for it in the TV show. Because in the book, it was just the three lads that the Aes Sedai came to take, right? But Egwene invited herself along. She was basically a spoilt prince. Well, most of the women in the books are spoilt little princesses, aren't they, Doku?
there's maybe only one I can think of that isn't, and I'm pretty sure she dies in the third book.
Yeah.
It's either the second or the third. I know she dies very, very early on because we're talking about a 12, 13 book series here. And yeah, everybody else becomes very insufferable until about book 5. And then, well, then the
The only one-
insufferable people start dying. And then that's when
Yeah.
I start enjoying it because I
The only one who
don't like start dying.
the only one who doesn't become insufferable is the main character, really, and Matt.
I'm not going to disagree.
But
Gentlemen,
on
just
the
about
face of it,
okay.
sorry, you were saying.
Yeah. Before you do, have either of you two ever seen a show called Lock and Key?
9, I've heard of it. So you stick a key in somebody's head and turn it.
Yes. And that, have you actually screw that. I'm going to send you a link. So if you choose to watch it, Batman, it is your choice.
Yeah.
Would you like a link as well, Doku?
Yeah, drop it to me because I have not heard of it, nor have I seen it.
I will warn you, it has a very young adult feel, but equally, I would dearly love to be able to come up with something similar for role playing. I've sent you both a link to it, as long as you don't mind sailing the high seas.
Have you the Wheel of Time on the face of it? I mean, feminists loved it at first until they actually read it, because the entire the world it's set in is female dominated because of what happened. But the women are generally shown to be not that good at ruling. The Aes Sedai, the basically the female magicians, tend to keep secrets that they shouldn't keep, and are trying to control events. So Yeah, they'll defeat the Dark One, but men will never get any power.
Until the Dragon Reborn comes around and they realize, oh, we can't actually defeat the Dark One, and oh, by the way, we also can't stop the Dragon Reborn, which means, yeah, you're all background characters.
Yep, because the only one who, what the hell they call it? People who are born without a fate, basically who actually do have freedom of choice and action. He's the only actual one, I believe.
Okay.
If I remember correctly from some of the back lore, is the Aes Sedai were also trying to figure out who the Dragon Reborn was going to be because they had every intention of killing him.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, the Dark One tainted the male side of magic, for want of a better word, so that any man who channels the one source will get corrupted, go insane, and eventually die after killing millions of people.
Yeah, it's basically you become like, yeah, you can defeat the Dark One, but also you become the new Dark One, and a bunch of people die, and yeah, maybe that's just not a good thing. So the Aes Sedai are just like, you know what? Any male that is born that has the ability to channel the one source, yeah, let's just go ahead and kill them. But oh, by the way, the Aes Sedai also can't kill the Dark One, who is, well, clearly still around.
And when you think about it, the Aes Sedai knew what had happened to Saidin, isn't it? The male magic.
Yes.
Or is it Saidar?
Saiden, I believe.
But they knew what had happened, and they've got research. They researched shit, so they should probably have been able to research how to cleanse it.
It's funny you say that, because Jim had just mentioned it got to the part where Rand al'Thor cleansed male magic.
I didn't know he did that, actually. I'd read that book.
Looks like about book 4-ish, apparently.
Yeah, that was either the end of book 3 or like midway through book 4. I forget. It probably depends on what version you read, actually, because there's different versions.
Episode 4 of the show, right towards the end, the false dragon that they've got breaks out. Right, he overcomes the wards, and he kills one of the Aes Sedai watching him, and Nynaeve just explodes in this power of magic and knocks him sideways. And he's going, "Oh, it's like this! It's like the blazing power of the blazing sun." That never happened in the books, as far as I know.
Yeah, no, in the books, I believe with that scene, it was he basically stole her magic.
Yeah. I believe it was Rand who he had that reaction to.
Yeah, no, it was Rand, and it was because I don't know which character it was, because they might have changed it up, but I know it was one of the Aes Sedai. I don't think it was the main chick that we meet.
No,
I think it was one of I think it was a secondary character, but she senses magic, or the source within Rand.
Yep.
And she tries to assassinate him, and he basically steals all of her magic to the point where she's basically left, like, not dead, but it basically, like, geriatric on the floor, and she just dies of natural causes because, well, bitch is all the shit.
Interesting effect when women get cut off from their source of magic. They get really hot.
Oh.
They also die very quickly.
Yeah, usually through their own hand because they're cut off from the source of magic.
Again, that's why they're so terrified of the Dragon Reborn and also the Dark One, is because if they try to fight either of them, it's basically a death sentence.
Okay. No,
unless you fight them with multiple people.
And it's still a death sentence.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could seal them away and only half of you die, if you're lucky. Sort of why they were never able to seal off the Dark One completely to begin with. Because,
that was their plan in the books, I believe, to seal the Dragon Reborn away with the Dark One.
Well, and that's what they wanted to do. Just the problem is, even if they brought... Well, there was like one scene in the book where they tried to seal someone who claimed to be the Dragon Reborn, and they brought like 100 or 1,000 Aes Sedai, and they tried to seal them away, and it didn't work, and like all of them died.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like they literally just don't have the power to do it because they're basically yin and yang. There's the evil guy that can use magic, and there's the good guy that can use magic,
Yep.
and everybody else that can use magic, well, all the other men that can use magic are dead because the women that can use magic killed them, and
Mm-hmm.
they wanted to seal off the basically the two major conduits, which is the dark and the good, but they're just not powerful enough to do so. And every time they try to do, a bunch of people die. And yeah, you can see why feminists start to get a little pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Aes Sedai. They're basically editing magic out of their population. Not just with men as well. Because any women that they disagree with, they'll make sure can't use magic as well.
Oh yeah, no, the Aes Sedai are fucking savages. Like
They should be wearing 1940 German armbands.
Oh.
oh yeah,
Okay.
no, if you don't
Yeah.
agree with them, it doesn't matter where you came from, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you are, it doesn't matter what's between your legs. If you don't agree with them, who is that again? You existed?
Yeah,
Nah.
I mean, a lowly Aes Sedai sister can walk into a kingdom, go to the palace, and basically sit on the throne, and the king's got to say, "Oh, is it comfortable enough for you?"
I was going to say it sounds pretty much like the modern left. Am I wrong?
Kinda. I think the only thing Jordan did wrong with these books is, like Jim said, too much descriptive stuff in it, and
Yeah.
I think he spun the story out too long.
Uh,
3 books would have been more than enough.
it does get long, and again, we're talking about a series that if you buy the standard editions, you're talking about 13 books. So
Yeah. By the
it-
time you get
wow.
the last one, you forgot what happened in the first one.
yeah, I mean, if he kept it to around like 5 or 6, that would have been fine. 13's a little bit much, and oh, by the way, the last 3 were written by Brandon Sanderson, so it wasn't even written by the Robert Jordan. So
Yep. Oh, I've been watching this Netflix original, Day of the Dead series. Don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah. No.
Well, there's far right characters in this, like the mayoress of this town. She's she's an open carry advocate, right? And her rival, this old guy, he's a lefty. But the leftists and the right wingers in this show, they're simply parodies of the real world, both sides.
Hmm.
honestly,
So-
that actually sounds entertaining.
It is. It's the way it's done, because the mayor's son isn't her husband's child, if you know what I mean. But he doesn't know, and he's basically got no testicles anyway.
Ah. Is it Troy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Her rival, this old guy who's like, he's a lefty. He's trying to, the zombies are, they're all family and friends. We should be trying to help them. Then he gets attacked by one. He's, kill it, get it off me.
God.
That's fair. That's fair. Now, Batman, would you like to hear Doku groan hideously if he knows anything about this? Are you ready? Doku, how about we have a little chat about the latest Resident Evil film?
I'm gonna take you outside, Jensen. I'm gonna shoot you in the back of the head, and I'm gonna bury you where you'll never be found.
That's
We're
Mhm.
let's have that conversation, but let's finish off with Bebop first, because
Go for it. I thought you had, but go for it, mate. Go for it.
yeah, no, I'm gonna talk about the good.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing about Cowboy Bebop is it wasn't as woke as I thought it was going to be, and like I've said previously, there are moments where, yeah, the characters have enough depth that when you do get, very rarely, some impactful moments, they hit home. Like they do a good job with it. So I'll give them credit for that. It wasn't just a rubber stamp character type of thing. I can't say that for the MCU films as of late. So at least someone in the writing room gave a little bit of thought to the characters, and they gave a little bit of depth. And yeah, sometimes it comes through and it actually lands. Sometimes.
Okay.
But for the most part, if you're a fan of the anime, you're not gonna like this show. If you've never seen it,
Yeah, Maddie hates it apparently.
well,
Alright.
if you've never seen the anime Cowboy Bebop and you're just watching this, it'll be
It was
entertaining
like
not I guess.
1984 it came out.
No, Cowboy Bebop was 94,
Yeah.
95?
Yeah, I was in my late 20s. I turned it on. So what the fuck's this shite, and turned it over.
Either way, the whole point behind Cowboy Bebop is it is a very nihilistic type of show. Like, it's not a happy,
Yeah.
feel-good sort of show. It's the underlying premise is you're always going to be broke. Everything is going to go against you. If you don't try to do things that are going to work out in your favor, even if you know it's probably not the best idea in the world, you're still always trying to do something to, achieve that. I don't know. I can put meat inside my fucking, stir fry. Yeah, it's that type of show. It's not a comedic show. It's not a happy show. And the way Netflix approaches it is they try to make it a space sitcom, and it just doesn't really work.
Yeah. Jensen.
Batman, before you do, mate, not happening. Carry on.
Yeah, I was going to say check the chat.
Oh, I did. Not happening, buddy.
Hey, I've got a dart gun. It's happening.
Right, so we're gonna finish up Cowboy Bebop on this one because I only have one final thing to say.
Go for it.
Vicious is fucking Kylo Ren.
Okay.
Vicious is supposed to be one of the main antagonists. It has to do with Spike's past. And the reason Vicious is supposed to be scary is because he's literally the definition of zero fucks given.
Oh, sorry. Every time you say Spike, I see James Masters with a
So do I.
with a bleached haircut and a long black leather jacket.
Yeah, I know, but no, but Vicious is supposed to be the definition of a character who has no emotions. He's been through war, he's tried to help out people because, hey, help me help you so that I can go fuck these people over, but he has no fucking emotion. The reason Vicious is terrifying is because he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a damn if you live. He doesn't give a damn if you die. If you shoot the guy, he's just like, eh. And then he keeps trying to kill you. The dude is a broken man to the point where he is a fucking ruthless killer. He has no emotion whatsoever. And then in this Netflix adaptation, Vicious gets shot and screams like a little fucking bitch. He acts like Kylo Ren. Compare Darth Vader to Kylo Ren. That is how the anime version of Vicious is.
Oh God, you just give me an image. Smokey and the Bandit, right? The sheriff in Smokey and the Bandit and his son. Replace the sheriff with Darth Vader, and the sheriff's son with Kylo Ren.
Oh my God.
That's the thing.
Concept.
This main
I'm
character.
going to have a word with your mother when we get
One of the
home.
main characters, Julia, who's like the love interest. There's a story there. I'm not going to get into the details, but there's a scene with Julia and Vicious that doesn't happen in the anime, but it happens in the Cowboy Bebop Netflix version, where she's like, "Oh, you're not a man. Just kill me. Like, you could never do it." And he's like, "Don't you say I'm not a man." It's like, you're just a bitch. Like, Vicious, they make him into a fucking little bitch.
I mean, the guy that you described, you say that to him, whatever, and drill holes in your kneecaps.
But so the anime version of Vicious, if anyone, not even just Julie, if anyone said that to him, he wouldn't have given a fuck. He wouldn't have listened to you. And if you tried to grab him and say, like, Listen to me. He would have fucking put a gun to your head and shot you in the head and then kept walking.
Unless that's what you wanted.
No, the normal version of Vicious is, I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, you're already dead. Like,
Yeah,
that's
fair
why
enough.
he's scary. But this version of Vicious is just a whiny little fucking bitch.
Like, I hate characters the way you've described the Kylo Ren type, but the kind that he is in the anime, the one-dimensional boring to me.
Well, the reason he's not
To me.
boring is the reason he's not really actually that boring is because he is that he is that character where when he does show up, shit goes south because it's not necessarily that he's a wild card. It's just whatever you had planned. Uh, yeah, it doesn't fucking matter because this dude doesn't give a shit. He's just there for his own particular purpose. And oh, by the way, you're in my way. I'm going to kill you. Well, I'm going to point a gun at your head. Yeah, well, that's fine. I've had 100 other people point guns at my head and they haven't been able to kill me, so I'm just gonna kill you and keep doing my shit. Guess what? I just fucked up your whole fucking plan, which fucks up everybody else's plan by extension. That's why Vicious is scary. He's more of a force of nature. He's not even a real actual character.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
He's also not a whiny little fucking bitch.
yeah, that's fair enough. But the character who is a force of nature is usually very one-sided, and that's boring.
It would be boring if the other characters, specifically with Spike and Julia, that revolve around the storyline behind Vicious, if it was just Vicious alone, yeah, he would be boring as shit. But the dynamic between Spike and Julia, that's what makes that plot line actually good. Because otherwise, Vicious would just be the big bad that, oh, everybody has to overcome the big bad.
Yeah, this is why I can't stand Venom and Carnage in Marvel. I mean, Venom was basically it was supposed after a bit. It was basically supposed to be Spider-Man's Doomsday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The only reason Carnage is good is if you actually go back into the comics and you look at
He's
Gladys
not-
Cassidy.
He's not good.
Oh no, Carnage is good when it's Cassidy in control and not Carnage.
No, he's not good even then. It's basically the Joker with superpowers, and he's not a very good Joker at that. It's a boring. Oh look, we'll make this bad guy and we'll make him really powerful and really vicious. And oh God, I've seen this a million times.
Yeah. Have you watched the second Venom doku?
First one.
No, and to be honest, I don't really want to.
I can't see why there's a first one because you cannot have Venom without Spider-Man.
Yeah, I know. Don't. Look, let's just ignore that little bit. You really, if you're gonna watch it, okay. One, you're an idiot. Two, it's actually a really good film as long as you, quite seriously, you switch your brain off and just go with it. Except for the fact that
You
the
can't.
main bad, I know, but the main bad guy is like 200 years old and looks it, and he's trying to pretend to be like 30 odd.
And just like that, I already tapped out.
Yeah, you said Venom 2 and I stopped hearing what you were saying.
That's
The
fair.
thing is, I like Venom and Carnage from the mid to late 90s, early 2000s iterations because they actually focused on why Cassidy was fucking insane and then also had the symbiotes change from person to person. That they had a few good storylines there, but when I see the Venom movie and then Venom Let There Be Carnage, I just have no desire to watch it because it looks like a popcorn flick and I have better things to do with my time.
It is a popcorn flick. It
I
really
think the
is.
only time the symbiote was interesting was during the conflict between him and Spider-Man before he actually managed to get rid of it. Before they decided, oh, well, the symbiote affects Peter Parker's mind and makes him stronger and vicious. It didn't.
Oh well, no, that I know the one you're talking about. That plot arc sucked. The good one with Carnage was when they had a crossover event. It was X-Men, Avengers, and Spider-Man, and Carnage played a big role in that one. That was good, even though he only showed up in like
Actually,
three or
I
four
tell
issues.
I tell a lie. There was a story. I've got the hardback cover that I actually liked with Carnage in it.
Mhm.
It was when Spider-Man teamed up with Batman to fight the Joker and Carnage.
Trippy.
The thing is,
Oh,
the Joker almost beat Carnage. The Joker.
Wow.
oh, let's be honest.
Okay.
Carnage is just bloodthirsty, but he's also dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another reason I don't like him.
Mm.
And I'm not going to say Carnage is smart. Carnage is dumb. He's just, well, he's Carnage. He's a bloodthirsty serial killer that's been taken over by a symbiote who is equally as angry and bloodthirsty.
And yeah, and one of the early things which you're right about the Cletus Cassidy character, because without before he had the Carnage symbiote, he was a coward as well,
Interesting.
which is
Well,
typical of people like that.
well,
Yeah,
one
but
of the
not
one of the
what he was in the film.
well, one of the good story arcs when it comes to Cletus Cassidy is when he encounters someone that he perceives to be, it was either his mother or his daughter. I think it was his daughter, and it's when the Carnage symbiote actually takes over and then murders him, and then they have this weird. I'm not going to spoil it. Just if you can find it, I don't remember the name of it.
It's
Go
all
read
right.
it.
It's in Marvel. It's already spoiled.
Well, yeah, fair enough. I really can't disagree with you there.
Fair.
That was a good point though, because it was basically Cletus Cassidy versus the Carnage symbiote, but it was all a mental battle while they're going on a complete fucking rampage. And it was Venom, Spider-Man. Yeah, it was Venom and Spider-Man that were trying to stop him.
Mm.
And then it was actually Cassidy that, if I remember correctly, Cassidy is the one that ends up winning and then surrenders, and Venom tries to kill him and Spider-Man stops him or some shit like that.
Okay. Hmm.
It was actually a pretty decent story.
All right.
I think that was from the 90s.
The 90s was a decade where comic books were starting to die.
It was one of the last good ones they actually did.
Yeah.
Now
Anyways,
then.
let's talk about
Yeah.
So Kim told me about this. I'm a diehard Resident Evil fan, for the
Oh,
record.
you are going to scream.
So I've heard two things, and I want to confirm if this is true.
Okay.
So there are no hunters in the film.
Mm-hmm.
That already annoys me.
Yeah.
How the fuck can you do the mansion and not have a hunter?
Yeah. I'm waiting for the second one.
The
So
the
far.
only fucking cutscene we have from the fucking first game was when the hunters show up, and you go, oh, what the fuck was that about? Oh, the giant lizard that's about to fucking slice my head off?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Yeah.
that point of contention aside,
Hmm.
Jill Valentine is the black chick.
No.
No.
Wait, so Jill is not a black chick.
Is she? Oh God, that's who that
Oh,
was.
I'm agreeing with you.
Oh,
She
God.
shouldn't be a black chick when I said
No,
no.
she shouldn't. But you know, now you mention it, I think it might be. No, the bit that killed me. Okay, prepare yourself. This is going to hurt, Doku. Are you ready?
Well, no, hold on. Before you even get me into the fucking pain, I need to know: is Jill Valentine
Black.
a fucking black chick?
I
Because
think
I'm,
so.
because I'm sorry,
Mhm.
the character of Jill Valentine. If you've played Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, well, she
Mhm.
wasn't in 2, but Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
and 6,
Yeah.
Jill is distinctively a white bitch.
Yeah. Don't go there with that, mate. I'm just going to remind you what they've done to Wesker.
Oh,
We'll
yes.
talk about that.
Wesker's super meat.
We'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
she's kind of black. Yeah, sort of like you can't tell without a good look.
But the thing
She
is,
looks like she's got a fake. She looks
Jill
like she's
is
got a fake
white.
nose.
Jill is white as fucking shit. Like,
Yeah, we know.
This is one of those black people that is as white as fucking shit.
Yeah.
uh,
Are
I'll,
you ready?
I'll wait to see how the actress performances,
Mm-hmm.
but it, if she doesn't act like a fucking white girl, uh,
Yes.
Batman, he
She's not
won't be
that good.
watching it. Trust me. Once I've told him
I
a few
won't be
minutes,
watching
he
it anyway.
won't. No, it's.
I hope she's
Are you?
at least better than in the second Resident Evil movie with Billy Mila Yoho bitch, and she's better than that. Where she's not even introduced.
Yeah, no,
These two coppers are trying to drag this zombie in that they've arrested, and she just
yeah.
comes out of nowhere. It's a zombie. It's dead. You got to shoot it in the head, and then proceeds to shoot this guy. These cops. This zombie.
Hmm.
That was a terrible scene.
The whole
wait,
thing,
have
all
you
of them were
both
shit.
have you both seen this movie?
I'm on
I
about the one
have.
with Mila Yo-Yo bitching.
Yeah.
That Resident Evil, the second one. But
Oh,
the,
you mean the
Basically,
not Resident Evil, Resident Evil?
yeah.
yeah,
But no, trust me, they're good in comparison. I
yeah,
prefer
How?
you.
something.
Okay. You know the nice woman that was captured by Umbrella and mutated, lived in the bottom of the house,
Lisa
face looked like.
Trevor?
Yeah, you remember her?
Uh huh.
She's in it,
Okay.
except she's in a orphanage. I'll get to this next bit's going to be the bit that
Wait.
breaks him.
Well,
No, no,
what?
that's not the bit that breaks you.
Jill Valentine's gay.
That part wouldn't actually confuse anybody. Let's face it, with modern society. No, Chris and Claire are also orphans in the orphanage with Lisa.
What?
Uh,
Yeah,
what? Wait. Oh,
Hold on. Wasn't Chris Redfield in the original game?
yeah.
yeah. So, wait,
Basically, they don't really know
hold
the
on.
source material.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Something's breaking. Listen to his voice. You can hear the cracks appearing.
so
Cracks, they're chasms.
Yep. It's going to get worse in a minute.
So Chris Redfield and Claire Redfield were
Mhm.
in an orphanage,
Mhm.
and that orphanage, I'm guessing this orphanage is in Raccoon City?
This orphanage was run by, the original scientist that actually had, done what he did to Lisa.
Birkin?
That's the boy. Yep. He's in charge of the orphanage.
Jensen, do you know what I'm waiting for here?
Go on.
I'm waiting for Doctor to start yeah,
Screaming.
buzzing and clicking and going, error, does not compute, does not compute.
Okay. I'll do it then.
110010101.
No. So far, you sound far too sane. They was also experimenting on Chris and Claire. He
No.
was. Yeah.
No,
Uh,
no.
Yeah. By the way, I stopped just after this because my brain could not deal with this shit.
Oh,
I have a lot of questions just from what you just told me.
Yeah,
Because
but
that
sounds
doesn't
like
make any sense to the plot line.
is the executive producer Mila Jovovich, because all of her science fiction films that she's ever been in have been absolutely shite.
in comparison,
All of them.
I think she probably done a good job. This was that bad. That I'm seriously, Doku would just sit there, scratch his head, go "Nanny," and possibly shoot himself.
Or go to Hollywood and go on a killing spree.
It
I'll
would
get your
be-
tickets for you, Doku.
Yeah.
I'm already disappointed. And see, this is the bad part.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see a somewhat faithful adaptation of the video game.
Good luck
Yeah.
with that.
Yep. No. You have seen what they've done. Some
I
of
just,
the characters, haven't you?
I just want to say this.
Leon.
It wouldn't.
Leon
We'll talk about that later.
Leon
Leon Singh.
what did Leon sing? Not Leon S. Kennedy.
No, trust me, it's Leon Singh.
Oh.
Seriously, trust me on this. The actor is, I believe, he's literally Indian.
He is.
Pakistani.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kim,
he is. Okay.
Kim confirmed it for me. He is.
Tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed
No.
character gets turned into
No.
a short Indian.
Yep.
So my issue is this:
Mm-hmm.
I am going to arrest you, then take you to the quickie mat.
Yep.
if you look at the first Resident Evil game
Mm-hmm.
and the second game,
Mm-hmm.
they're static camera games.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
It's
I know.
not.
I played
It's
them.
not. Yeah, it's not that difficult to adapt to a movie.
I know. I played them.
Yeah,
The,
it's
the second one was
managed
the
to
best
fail.
out of the entire series.
how do they keep fucking this up? Like, I really want to know.
There's a couple of reasons. You've got to change things to fit them into a movie, right? I mean, we all know that.
Yes.
Directors and screenwriters each want to put their own mark on a project.
Yeah.
So that's where another source of change is. The other
you-
reason is the woke brigade destroy everything they touch.
And
well,
that's where it happens.
you know how you could put your mark on a project like this?
By
By putting
doing
your name in the fucking credits.
by doing a good job was all I'd require. I don't care how much you change an IP, right? So long as you do a good job.
Like I said, by putting your name in the damn credits, because
Okay.
it doesn't require that much for you to adapt the first Resident Evil
What about this
into a
one?
fucking movie.
What about this one? Flash Thompson in the new Spider-Man movies.
Mm-hmm.
He's an Indian. He wouldn't be called Thompson for one thing.
No.
And Flash was a jock, right?
Yes. Well,
He wasn't stupid by any means, because I mean he got in a fucking university on his fucking school scores, but he was a jock. He was a physical bully, and I've seen this argument up and down the internet. Those kind of bullies don't exist in schools anymore. They fucking well do. They always will. As long as you've got people who are good at sports, and who, because of that, have that confidence, they're good in social situations. There will always be that kind of bully. That kind of bully will dominate all the time.
Yep.
I mean, how are you going to humiliate me with your intellect when I've broken all your teeth out your face?
True. You both played the game. I know Doku has, but you played the game, yeah, Batman?
Oh, the Resident Evil games.
Resident Evil series, yes.
Up to Resident Evil 4, I believe.
That's good enough for me. If you was going to define one character of the females, I'm even going to give you that. Of the females, which one character would you say was the alpha female, for want of a better
Oh, that
term?
would be Jill Valentine, wouldn't it?
Okay, Doku, your opinion?
Well, what span of games are we talking about?
We'll call it
Oh.
from 1 to 4. That's because that's what Batman's played, and trust me, it doesn't need to be anything more than 1 and 2. But go for it.
I'm just gonna give you down the list. Number 1, Ada Wong. Number 2, Jill Valentine. Number 3, Claire.
You can only choose one.
You're
Well,
allowed one.
Ada.
Okay, you're picking one. Yeah, Claire.
Ada Wong.
Claire. She's most
Claire is
definitely
my
the alpha. No.
Claire is
she
my
the
second
alpha.
favorite.
Yep. She orders around Chris.
Uh,
You heard me. Yes. I
um,
know.
so the 19-year-old girl that goes to Raccoon City to try to find her, what was Chris, like 25, 26,
About that.
who is literally as close as you can get to special forces while being a civilian,
Yep.
and she goes to Raccoon City to find him because she hasn't heard from him
Hmm.
because there's that thing about the mansion, and she orders him around.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not how that would work
Yeah.
ever.
Like I say, watch it once just so you can say, "Oh, I've now seen it," and "Oh crap, Quinn was right." Okay, but
Yeah.
we will bring this to an end here. You did say you wanted to make it an hour. It's been an hour and 5 minutes. Okay. Thank you very much for being here, Batman.
You're
Thank you very
welcome.
much, Doku. I do hope what little of your sanity is left will eventually heal itself.
I don't know. I hope it crawls into the corner and whimpers
I think he's already doing that.
while slowly dying.
Also
I'm
doing that.
I, I'm actually more irritated because all right,
Uh,
I only have one other question. Do we at
Yeah.
least get to see the G virus version of Birkin and Sherry Birkin? Like, does that at least happen?
You get to see. Like I said, I quit after about 20 minutes
do you know
because
what?
I could not deal with the fact that Lisa was an orphan in the same place
You know what I
as
hate about the Resident Evil film franchise
all of it.
is Resident Evil Extinction. I think it was where
Oh.
the a virus, right? A virus
Mhm.
has destroyed all the water on the planet,
Yeah.
and it basically turned into a role, gender role reversal cowboy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't acknowledge those movies as canon.
It was. I don't acknowledge those movies as B movies.
True. If I make one moment, Miss Murder, I've not got a problem with the female ordering around the male. If it applies to the story, I completely agree.
Which
But
game
in
is this?
this, for role-playing games, I'm talking here.
Yeah, I figured that.
Okay, this is the one.
It's a vampire one, isn't it?
Well, more or less, it's mage, but yes,
Oh, all right. World of Darkness.
yes. So Narissa ordering around Matthew is perfectly reasonable, except it will be somewhat like, oh, I don't know. Pretty much pick any film you like. Ah, here we go. Princess Leia is now the lead main character and is ordering around Luke and doing his job for him because she's better and stuff.
Ah, right. So the Force Awakens.
Pretty much, yeah.
Uh, Jensen, I'm even gonna say that's actually being far too generous.
I know.
It
Yeah.
all I have to say is this:
Mm-hmm.
Claire is a 19-year-old girl who rides a motorcycle. Chris is
Sure.
a 25 to 26-year-old dude
Yeah.
who is literally Special Tactics and Rescue Squad, which is as close as you can get to Special Forces while
Mm-hmm.
still being a civilian.
Yeah.
Yep.
Goku, are you saying that he's stars?
Stars.
Is this what you're saying? Okay, just checking.
So has he got
And
a friend called Stripes?
and
No,
oh,
no,
by the
no,
way,
don't talk anymore. They're enemies. Yeah.
just to hammer the point home,
Mm-hmm.
Chris isn't just a member of Stars; he's a member of the fucking Alpha Team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is literally one of the top 10 most badass people in the entire fucking city. And we're talking about a city the size of, I don't know, St. Louis or Chicago.
Yeah.
I hated that fucking NP, that monster in fucking Resi 3. Every time you heard stars, you knew, oh god, I'm gonna have to reload, aren't I?
Again, the fact that anybody could look at Chris or Jill, for that matter, and
Mm-hmm.
order them around, period,
Mm-hmm.
is absurd. Because
Or Leon.
oh no, Leon was a rookie cop coming onto the scene to begin with, and he just got he learned how to get good quick.
Yeah, so you just wouldn't order him
This is
about.
true.
He'd
This
put
is
you
true.
through a wall.
Also a fair
No,
statement.
Leon was a very vigorous young boy. But the
You
thing
don't
is,
need to think about that. Okay?
Leon was
Sorry.
basically a young fucking kid who
Yeah.
didn't want to fucking die. Basically the same way Claire was a fucking young girl who didn't want to die. Versus
The first time I played Resident Evil 2, he died a total of 50 times before I got into the police station.
well,
Wow.
versus Jill and Chris,
Hmm.
and they knew their shit. They
Yeah.
they were trained. Like they knew what the fuck they were doing. Leon and Claire were fucking noobs.
I'm not going to apologise for breaking your brain. I
But
didn't
Leon
make
was
the
less of a
film, and
noob
it has
than
nothing
Claire.
to do with me. Yeah.
Leon
Fair.
at least knew what he was doing.
Fair.
I mean, at least Leon knew how to fucking rack the slide and fucking
Yeah.
point the gun properly versus Claire's like, what do I do with the shotgun? You point and you pull the trigger.
And hope you don't
And
break
my
your arm.
final comment on this, I will be finishing straight after this, is Rachel for the win. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and good night.
Yeah, go